please prioritize your food. Like my doctor would tell me, like realization that I will never be alone anymore.
The moment, the realization that I had that I'm gonna lose sleep for the rest of my life.
The first time that I have no idea what this thing is. I've not played with it in the back end. I have no.
Welcome to the Builder Story. Learn from people who have built really cool stuff that matter. Hi Rohini, welcome to the show.
Thank you, chef. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
I know you, we have worked together, but why don't you give a little bit of who you are, what have you been up to, and tell us something interesting about yourself as well.
Yeah, so like right now, I'm a senior developer advocate at AWS. I'm based in Canada, but I've been with AWS for, can you believe, more than 12 years? For sure. And I've been like traveling a lot with AWS itself. Been in the industry for more than 15 years. Started when cloud was like a hype, like no one was doing cloud, like in 2009. People were like, what is this new thing? It's like a buzzword, and cloud is the hype and all. And saw it become the new normal, and now I'm seeing AI is the hype, and now getting wherever it is getting, like it's the whole fast thing. So that's where I am. I've been a new mom in the industry. Everyone knows because I keep posting about it on LinkedIn and everywhere else. I came back from a maternity leave, and honestly, it was really privileged to be in Canada because we do get long maternity leaves. I like, you have an option of 12 months or 18 months of maternity. Obviously, it's kind of unpaid. I mean, there are some nuances. I don't want to get into that, but being able to have that time with a kid, I really valued that. So I came back after 1.5 years to work, and that's where I am.
Congratulations of the newborn. This is a topic that not many people talks about as well. That being a mom, being a parent in tech, it can be very different than what people say. Like, especially as you were saying, there's this like different waves of technologies that's coming up. Along with that, there's certain element of pressure that gets built up, and also like needs and wants as well. And especially when you are a developer advocate, you work very closely with developers, like customers, very closely as well. So now when you became a mom for the first time, right, like what was it like? When did you feel like there's no going back?
I mean, I so wanted to have a kid, okay, for years and years, but I'll give you a moment. Like when we had the baby, like had the baby, we delivered, and they do all the checks and all, right? It had still not registered that I had a baby, and then they moved me to a different room, and my husband had to step out to bring food for us because I was really hungry. And when there was just me and the baby in the room, that's when it hit me that, oh, now I have a baby. Like, I have to take care of this thing that is like crying in that bassinet there. And I'm like, wow. And that's when it hit. And like, I know they call it a hormone crash, but I just started crying, and I was like, this is it. Like, there's no turning back, and the baby is earthside, and now it's like our whole lives. In that moment, it was a very strong moment for me, because I'll always remember that moment, looking at that tiny little baby in that bassinet and just crying. I think that's how it happened. Like, whatever decision I take in my life, like it's going to have that ripple effect on that tiny little human.
True.
Like, I talked about it in one of my Instagram reels. Like, I had this realization that I will never be alone anymore. Like, I used to love my me time. I can take my bath anytime. I can go for coffee anytime. I can like, hey, you want to meet up? Or like, we can. Yeah, I realized that's not happening. Like, at least for some
True.
time, until they become independent. So that was huge.
That's true. That's true. And also, I think when before you become parents, a lot of people would give you advice like, "Hey, take rest as much as you can, because once you have a baby, it's not going to be the same. Like, try to meet up people, watch anything that you want." When people started like giving me and my wife all these advices, I was like, "Okay, what are these guys saying? It's just a kid." Like it's gonna be easy. The moment the realization that I had that I'm gonna lose sleep for the rest of my life is when I was in the delivery suite, and then
Uh-huh.
my wife was like getting prepared for the delivery. The doctors came in like every 5 to 10 minutes. I was like trying to fall asleep. Nope. I was like,
Wow.
no going back. No going back.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my god.
Sleep. Oh, definitely. We'll talk about it, but definitely sleep was the biggest.
When you're a new parent,
Yeah.
it brings in like a lot of additional responsibilities as well, like the responsibility you never thought you had to take up on. So what
Yeah.
happens is, generally, like people say, to raise a kid you need a village. It's not very clear before when you're a parent, but when you are a parent you're like, oh yes, I need as much support as possible,
Yeah.
right? But in your case, you're not in India, like you're not with your
I
parents,
wish.
you're living like many miles away. So
Yep.
how did you manage to find help, and like how did you cope up with the whole thing for like first year or so?
Oh, it was a journey, my friend. It like my both of our parents couldn't travel because it was a winter baby, right? Like November end baby, and winters are brutal here. My parents, who have like lived all their lives, my parents, my husband's parents, they're old. They're in like 70s and 80s, and they've lived all their life in like the tropics. Getting them in the winter, if they fall sick, is it was like I don't want to deal with any of that because they are old. They already have sickness, and I don't want to add the whole 24-hour journey. And it was like, sorry, we will manage. Like,
Yeah.
please don't take that stress because I don't want them to fall sick as well. So there were no like grandparents down the street. There was no one at home to like take care of the baby while you both need sleep. So definitely we didn't have a village. It's just me and my husband, but we made our village like for before even having him, like during the pregnancy. I became a very super active Reddit user. Like I would just
Mhm.
scan Reddit pages and I would get all the information I can. We also did the classes from the hospital. So, obviously everything was virtual. We couldn't get into physical one, but it helped. It helped understand, okay, this is going to be a different thing. Like it's a whole new additional work along with
Mhm.
what you've been already doing. There were options we were exploring for professional help, like,
Mhm.
nurses or doulas and stuff like that. But honestly, I'm someone who finds it very difficult to be vulnerable to outsiders, right? So like for me it's very hard. And my husband was like, you don't seem to be interested, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a very difficult time for me. And it's like, I know, okay, I'll
Yeah.
manage on my own. And I'm a germophobic. I don't know if I picked it up with my life in Singapore, but with the whole sanitizers before COVID, like, so I'm like, no, I don't want someone outside to come in and pass the germs to the baby. So it was more like, let's
True.
create a bubble for first 3 months and all of that. So our village was mostly online, or some of our
Mm.
friends who could just drop food, or I had
Yeah.
like a tiffin service set up, so food was getting delivered. I had a cleaning lady who did like deep cleaning before the
Oh.
baby arrived, so we just had to manage it. So I was trying, like I was fully organized, like I had a whole Excel sheet and like lists and all. So I was like fully organized online and at home. So my village was just us, for sure. I think once he grew up, I think daycare has been one of the
Mm.
village for us. Like the
Mm.
teachers are good. Like we work together on his milestones and like getting rid of bottles, right? Like they
Yeah.
helped me get in sync, and then we could do that. And like the first time I actually felt like I could just breathe was when he started daycare.
True.
That's the like I know people say like, no, you should not send it to daycare, you should take it. And I'm like, sorry, we don't have a village. Daycare is my village for now. But
Yeah.
for sure, online, offline, and honestly, I have to give a shout out. Like parents like you or Jason. Jason had sent this whole list about. I mean, he's amazing, right? Like he sent the whole list about being with kids, and something he said always stuck with us was, the days are long but the years are short. So it
True.
seemed like it was a lot in that moment, but honestly I feel I really cry now that Where's my baby? Where's the tiny little baby I had just like last year? It's no longer a tiny baby. Sorry, that
True.
was long, but yeah, that's my story of having a village.
I can definitely resonate with you. Like I live in Singapore. I'm originally from Sri Lanka. My wife is also from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
It was during, I think, COVID, like
Oh,
last bit of COVID time, that we had the kid, and then we were like figuring out, okay, how can we bring someone down to help? And
yeah,
also like we were not very like in Singapore. You can actually hire maids
yeah,
as well. Like
yeah,
I also had we actually also had the same sort of problem as well. Like, okay, is the maid gonna take care of the kid well as we do?
yeah, yeah.
The daycare, like I still remember my wife, we sent the kid to like daycare for about a week, and then my wife started crying. uh
I know that.
like it was hard, it was hard.
It was. I used to cry. Like first week I was crying like crazy because he would just cry hysterically at
Hmm,
pick up and drop off. And I have my own mom's Instagram page as well, so I regularly post there about it. And a lot, like it's an adjustment. Like it took him
hmm,
like 2-3 months to actually realize, okay, this is the new normal, and I'm not like I'm gonna be treated well here. They give me food, I get to play, so
hmm.
he's okay. And we just went to a vacation and came back, and
Yeah.
it's repeating again. Like he cried just this morning. Like I was sitting in the car, I was like, did he cry, did he cry? And he's like, yeah, he cried like a lot. My husband was like, I had to leave him at car because I cannot. I just go in and I'm like just crying in there with him, and I'm like, you go, I'll stand outside. Like it's horrible.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
horrible.
Like I totally hear you. I totally hear you as well. Like now you were actually like, okay, you managed to find some help online. I think that's how like most of the parents who are not living, like I mean like a lot of these couples, right? They travel now.
Yeah,
They go and settle in different countries. There are a lot of
yeah,
movement as
yeah.
well. And then I think during maternity, like I think you had a longer maternity period, which I think as a country in Canada is good, and then also in Europe as well. I know
Yeah.
they have good maternity coverage. So, what were some of the difficult things that you found during your maternity leave?
Two, actually. Main is two. Definitely. First is the decision fatigue. There's just so many choices. Like what stroller to buy. We went down that rabbit hole. What car seat to buy. What bottles to buy. Like there's just so many choices, and everything's amazing, and everything has its pros and cons. And I felt like, yeah, every other day we were just making decisions. And once the baby's here,
Hmm,
it's like, is it time to feed it? Is it time to change the diaper? Is it time? Like there's just so much decision to be made day in day out. It felt like I was getting a lot of fatigue just from making decision. I was like
hmm,
telling my husband, just make a decision. Just let's stop discussion. And the second one, I think, I mean, people told me this, like they told you as well, right? And I was like, I'm a bad sleeper. I don't need a lot of sleep. I'm okay. I'm okay. But sleep deprivation was the first wave that hit. Oh
true.
my goodness. I'll tell you, I got blood pressure issues towards the end of pregnancy, which is why we had to get him out earlier. And they told me it will be sorted after delivery. It didn't. I still take blood pressure medication, by the way. And the blood pressure was so weird. Like medication that they were giving that was breastfeeding safe was not working for me. Okay, and it was giving me more
Hmm,
issues. Like it was giving me chronic cough. 4% in the world get that side effect, and I was lucky 4%. So I was like not able to sleep for more than 10 minutes. Like if I sleep for 10 minutes, I'll wake up coughing, and
hmm,
or I'm taking care of the kid. So I was not sleeping for a month or two because I was not getting the appointment to the doctor.
hmm,
Like the whole thing, like a month or two, I suffered, and it was so bad, the sleep deprivation. I had hallucinations. Like I was hearing things that were not happening. Like my husband's calling me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, I didn't call you. And I'm like, okay. Then again, I'm like, you called. He's like, no. And sometimes he would call, and I was like, no, no, I'm hearing things. And he's like, no, I actually called. And I was
hmm,
like,
well,
I would hear my son crying when he's not crying. It was scary because sometimes I'm
yeah,
like, do I trust my own self? Like, do I trust my own
yeah,
hearing? Like, it was really scary. Like, a lot of people were like laughing about it, like, ha ha ha. You, I'm like, No, in that moment, I was losing my alertness. Like, it was very freaky, right? And when you have a tiny baby, I'm like, what other sense
Yeah.
am I losing? It was very freaky. And a lot of people don't talk about this, but sleep deprived hallucinations is a very big problem. And especially moms who are recovering, they definitely need to sleep. So I tell a lot of
True.
moms, like, please, please, please prioritize your food. Like, my doctor would tell me, like, just book time, like alarms for food, for water, and for sleep on your phone. And I'm like, yeah, right. Like, yeah, the baby needs to feed every 2 hours, right?
Yes. True.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think those were the most difficult things for sure.
Yeah. I think when you're a parent, like especially your mom, a mom takes up a lot of toll on her health, on her like not only physical health, mental health,
Yeah.
and also like getting cope up with like the new routine, etc. as well. I think dads play a pivotal role. When you look at some of the like previous generation dads versus the dads now, like quite hands on. Like the guys would
I know.
take the kid out so the moms can get some sleep
Yeah, yeah,
as
definitely.
well. So that is there, but still like the recovery process takes, I think, probably years.
Yeah, definitely. People think like that the 6 week mark is like, okay, you should be good, but no, it takes, like, it took me a year plus to get my brain back. Like, it was a lot of surprise to me how
True.
much my brain power was used for creating the baby, and then the whole process with it.
Yeah.
Like, I was having difficulties doing basic arithmetic. I was literally crying to my husband, like, brain is one thing I have. Like, I know I'm not physically strong. Brain is one thing I have, and I'm losing that as well. And he was like, no, it's just how things are. And it took a year to for my physical, for my mental strength to actually come back and stabilize. And I'm like, the hormones to settle down. And yeah, it's a long process for sure.
True. Like adding fuel to the fire, you were full time employed, you were
Yeah.
on maternity leave, and you
Yeah.
at the same time you were like very much. I would say you still love what you do. Like I've seen you how much you
True.
love the work that you do, and then like when you see like how is it like when you see your friends like post things up in social media, and how was the FOMO
Oh
look like for you?
man, it was crazy. And it was crazy. Like, I stopped going on social media. Like, I stopped going on LinkedIn. I still don't have notifications from LinkedIn. Like, noting and few people's Instagram and like dev.to. And I was like, no, 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 this is pulling me in. And there was a lot of churn as well at AWS. Like, when
Hmm.
I left, a lot of
Yeah.
people were leaving as well, and they were going to
Hmm.
amazing companies. Like, they were going to, like, really the companies that were doing like a lot of AI stuff. Like, they were at the frontier of that. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, wow. Like, and here I was wondering, will I have a job when I go back? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, yeah, the FOMO was crazy. Do you know Kiro was launched
Yeah.
last year, July 2025 or
Hmm.
something? And
Hmm.
and it just started popping everywhere. Kiro, Kiro, Kiro. And I'm like, this is maybe the first time that I have no idea what this thing is. I've not played with it in the back end. I have
Yeah.
no idea there was a launch, and no idea what it is. Like, when I came back, and that was the first thing I started exploring. I was like, I'm hearing about this for a year. I need to know what is this. Kiro, Kiro, Kiro. But yeah, it was definitely crazy FOMO time. I'll tell you, I started a AI course while I was on mat leave.
Mm-hmm.
So ambitious of me. I started a AI course. I went like half of it, and then I fell sick. I was hospitalized and all of that, and then I came back, and I was like, "Yep, I'm not learning anything anymore. This is it. Like, I would need to focus on my health and my baby's health. Take the maternity leave. It's okay. You can go back and learn these things."
Yeah.
But the FOMO was really real for sure.
In Singapore, you get about for moms, there are about 4 months of leave, and then for dads, like at Amazon, you get like 6 weeks of leave.
Okay.
So I still remember my wife checking like Slack once in a while. Like I'm like, what are you
So
doing?
I was.
No, I'm just catching up.
I used to keep my Amazon laptop updated. I was like, I don't want to go back and not have a laptop. I used to keep Amazon laptop updated, check in Slack,
Yeah.
and I was like, who's still there? Is anyone there? For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, the chatter and all that, like we should do that, right? Because the thing is, like we are working. I mean, like you have not left the job, right? Like I mean, like when you're a parent, you're still work. Maternity leave means you're still employed. That means your one part of your brain still switched on
Yeah,
to sort of
yeah,
like listen to what's going on.
yeah,
It's not easy.
yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
easy
it
to
is
switch
not,
it
it
off.
is not, it is not. And it's something you built for years. Like it was, I know for sure for you as well, it's like decade plus work that we have put in and to build an identity, right? And
Hmm.
it's such a public facing role that we have.
Yeah.
And I know you and I both love community, like especially the AWS community. Like for me, I've worked with them for so many years. So I felt like I used to get a lot of pings like, are you coming to reinvent this year? Are you coming for summit this year? Are you coming for a community day? And I'm like, guys, I'm not working anymore. But yeah, like, no, I'm not in that zone right now, but I would have loved to for sure.
Now, like I think about 1 year plus maternity leave, you went back to work, right? Even though you caught up with all the Slack messages, you saw what's going on in LinkedIn. You were catching up like right after maternity leave. Just talk me through like how was it like your first week? I'm pretty sure that was your inbox was filled with lots of emails and even Slack too.
Yeah, so honestly, when I came back, it was, I mean, the inbox, I don't care. Honestly, I knew like lots of those emails won't be important anymore because it was just full. So I was like trying to get updated. My laptop, I mean, I realized my, like, we don't use Chime anymore at
Hmm.
AWS. And I was like, what do we use? Like, what am I creating meetings with? Because I had to catch up with my manager. And I was like, we realized we went to Zoom. And I was like, when did this happen? Like, when did we let go of Chime? And that's how the surprises started, by the way. Like, my mailbox used to be always full, and now my mailbox is never full. And I'm like, wow, what changed? Like, what's happening? And that's how I started realizing that a lot of things had changed. Like, my whole team kind of
Hmm.
had changed. I had a new manager, and the whole team's goals and all had changed, and they have been working with it for a whole year. So for me, everything was
Hmm.
new, for sure. Like, I felt like I came to a new job. I had to talk to new people. I had the same old salary, for sure. No increment there. But definitely the first week was crazy. It was very overwhelming as well, because I just came back, and it went from, like, AI was something like people were just experimenting and, like, playing and creating demo projects with. And now everyone was just using AI, and I had no idea. Like, people were like, oh, have you added the MCP server here? Have you done that? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I have no idea how things are working. Like, people were just using AI daily, and for me it was just like, oh, is there something I need to install? Like, okay, what do I do here? So it was definitely overwhelming. And then I actually wrote about it, because I came back, and everyone was a content creator, by the way, because now AI was writing content for everyone. So I was having an existential crisis kind of a thing. I was like, what am I doing? Like, how different am I going to be? Like, and everyone had whole year to talk about, like, AI and whatever changed, and I haven't. Like, it was very, very overwhelming, because I was like, I have been out of the game. Like, am I left behind? Have I lost the train about AI? Is anyone ever going to listen to me? So I started writing about it. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like it's all a hype. Like, where do I start? And I wrote a blog about it, and people actually connected with me on that. I posted on LinkedIn. I was very vulnerable about it. I said, okay, I started small. Maybe for anyone else, it might be this is a very basic project. But for me, it was a big learning, right? And that's how I started. Like, I started sharing how I, as a person, started small, and I'm not ashamed about it. Like, I know, like me, a lot of people are overwhelmed right now with the industry, and I'm going to be the one to talk about it, so people are comfortable to accept and then move on.
Yeah, I've been following some of your videos as well. That you recently shared. And one thing I think, like, yes, these days, like, everyone is a content creator, but at the same time, something that I've always seen and then admired in you is that you go deep with contents, you talk the depth, which I think the community also really admire as well. But like, now you started going back to work, but you also have a kid now. How was it
Yeah.
like, the morning routine wise?
Yeah, like morning routine for us. First of all, it's getting ready. That boy, it takes two people to get him ready, fed him, like dress him up and get him all sorted and drop him at the daycare. Once he's at the daycare, we are like, we can breathe. There are days I have to go to
True.
office, by the way. So there are days that I have to travel to office. So it's like the worst
Mm.
day because I have to make sure the food's set and everything's set, and then my husband drops me, and then while coming back, we pick him up, and once he's asleep we can go back to work, uh, be housework or be office work, whatever's pending we have to catch up on that. So days are definitely hectic because you know
Mm.
how toddlers are, like everything's a
Yeah.
no. You want food? No, but he wants to eat as well. So keep telling my husband, like, it's a marketing job. Like, how do you
Mm.
brand things is how it is with a kid. So we try to make it funny. We try to be like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, or like, oh, you're wearing a t-shirt with cars. Like, cars are so interesting now.
You
So
become Miss
definitely,
Rachel.
definitely, it is like having the most boring thing, but making it like the most amazing thing for this boy is what we
Yeah.
try to do. But it's definitely hectic mornings. Like, I remember when I was like before the baby, like I was like, oh, I can sleep in today, I can relax, and I don't need to get anywhere today. I can just sleep. But that's no longer the privilege that I have. Like,
True.
especially on weekends, he will wake up super early. Like, you don't even have to go to daycare. Can you not just sleep? Like, no. I will wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm gonna start screaming and I'm gonna make everyone else wake up. I'm like, this boy. But such is
100%.
life. What about you? How do you do it?
In my case, actually, anyways, the first year was like, pandemic time, like towards the
Yeah.
last leg of pandemic. So both of us, we were working from home, and then since the daycare didn't work out for us, we decided
Yeah.
to hire a maid. So we had a maid who helped us out. So in the
Nice.
morning was like, I'll let my wife sleep, then I take the
Thank you.
boy, probably go around, like go on a walk or something, or maybe like I just keeping on the stroller, and then the maid would take care of him, kind of thing, so I get a bit of sleep and come back.
Nice.
But i I think the morning routine, it was a bit challenge as well, like, because the kids get time to adjust to a sleep routine. When their sleep routine is not well defined, our sleep routine just goes crazy.
Exactly. And they wake up like multiple times at night, and there goes like the whole routine of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
still remember writing down very ambitious, sort of like a to-do list. This is what I'm gonna do for the next day, and the next day, the guy woke up really early, and then you're like grogging.
Definitely. Like, whatever you have planned, the baby is like,
Yeah,
nope, that's not happening.
yeah. No, it's not happening. And then that's what my wife and I decided. Okay, let's not have like, okay, let's have a bit of a rough sketch, but not
Yeah.
a solid plan, because things can change.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
I think pivoting is the first thing we learn, right? Like, yeah,
hmm,
we have a plan, but we have to pivot because you never know. A nap time is missed, or they're hungry, or they just had a blowout, and you have to like change the whole. Like today morning, like he was like, I got him ready and everything, and then he was like, okay, you have to wear your shoes and get out, and then he started making sounds, and I was like, oh
yeah.
god, we are already running late, and you decide to couldn't you just wait for 5 minutes and go to daycare and poop? Like, no. I have to do it at home. Oh boy, yeah. Every time. I remember we were house hunting. By the way, bought a house last year because the condo was
Congrats.
not. Thank you. Like, the condo was not enough, and we were like, okay, now we are going to be big adults, like further, and we're going to buy a house. And we were house hunting, and the first time our realtor was like, okay, be there at 10. Okay, we have like three houses to see, 10 to 12, and I'm like, we'll be there. And we left home, like we left home at 8:45, and we're like, okay, we're gonna reach there early and it's gonna be amazing. And we go down and we get into the car and we start the car, And this guy decides, come back. And we were like, are we going home or are we changing him in the car? And they were like, we're
uh,
changing him in the car.
bec-
Because, and we still got 20 minutes late. So I was like,
true.
yeah, we are never on time anywhere anymore. And it hurts because me and my husband are both like, super punctual people. And now whatever we do, like he is going to ruin it. Like, and we put it on the baby as well. We're like, no, the baby was sleeping, or the baby.
Yeah. I mean, you get to kind of like you're very fragile and not fragile, agile.
Yeah,
Like we are already
agile.
fragile.
Oh boy.
Uh, another thing that gets added into like when you're a parent is also like there's a part of your brain like you feel like have been unlocked. You
Yeah,
look at the world in a very different way. You look at in people like more empathetically because
yeah,
you are taking care of a human being who doesn't know anything at all, so that
yeah,
means you have
yeah,
to teach them. You
yeah,
sometimes like approach people in the same way as well. You try to kind of slow it down, teach them, take it like, I mean, like I've felt like that part of the brain unlocks when you're a parent
yeah,
as well, become
yeah.
empathetic. And I've seen a lot of good leaders as well. Like when you're
Mm-hmm,
a
mm-hmm.
parent, you also are very thoughtful about your employees as
Yeah,
well when you're a
yeah.
parent too. That's something I've seen.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like your whole um moral system kind of moves. Like for me, I felt like I always used to be like highly organized. Like I have to be punctual. I have to, like, people who are late. I used to be like, why are you late? Like you can't you manage your time? And now I'm like, yeah, they must have some. They must have a big kid, or something must have happened. And obviously, I
Yeah.
was always empathetic, but my priorities have changed. Like for
Yeah.
me, work was my whole priority. Like when I was in India, I was working weekends, I was working like late nights and everything. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I have this set of time in my life that I have for work, and I'm going to prioritize, and I'm going to be hyper focused in those times. I always was an hyper focused person. Unlike my husband, he keeps saying that I'm too focused or too concentrated at things, but for me, I'm now much more better at prioritizing. Like if things are not, like I remember I used to have this conversation with folks in the team, and I was like, who's going to do the grunt work, this, like I'm going to be the person doing the grunt work, and I'll be like, no, no, I can take care of this. But now I'm also like, I think I have to be a bit selfish because I don't have all the time in the world. I have
Mm.
to prioritize a bit, try to focus on things that actually will matter for me, for my company, for sure. And then there's a whole thing, right? Like you've become a parent. Now my priority
Mm.
has changed from I'm doing this for my company, for folks, I'm doing this for my family. So my
Yeah.
family always comes first. Like whatever
Yeah.
decision I have to take, that family will always come first.
Yeah. That's true. Like me and my wife, we both also talk to each other like before having kids. Life was like, oh, wake up anytime, sleep at any time you want. You kind of like you can be workaholic as much as
Yeah,
you can, and then when you have a kid, that 8 hour period that you work, you try to maximize, be
yeah.
productive as much as you can, so that the late at night the unknowns can unravel, no problem.
Exactly. Like you don't know, right? Like you're dealing with a lot of uncertainty outside. So that 8 hours
True.
is my control time, and
True.
and sometimes it's not a continuous 8 hours, right? So like for
True.
a lot of people, even now I understand like why people would work for like 4 hours, 6 hours in a day, and then
Mm.
once the kid is asleep, they'll like push
Mm.
themselves and like work late hours at night as well,
True.
as long as the work is getting done. I'm not
Yeah.
that person who thinks like person should work 8 hours. As long as they're able to provide quality work for whatever hours,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like chilled in that sense. I'm like, it doesn't matter, it's just work.
So, how was your conversation with your manager once you went back to the team? Because you had a new manager, it looked like a
Yeah,
new job altogether, right? So, what was your
yeah,
conversation?
yeah, because I'll tell you, my old manager was amazing. Like when I told her I was pregnant and going through some issues in my first second trimester, she was just a new mom. Like she had a baby a
Mm.
year or 1.5 year ago, and she was like very empathetic, and it,
Mm.
it was really nice. And then I came back, and then I had a man as a manager, right? So I didn't know how to have that conversation because I've never had this conversation with anyone, right? Like with a female,
Hmm.
it was easier because we connected. But after I had that conversation with my manager, I'm like, he's a parent, he's a dad, he has two kids, he definitely understood everything. He was like, he's the one who told me, like, for work I can replace you. Like if you can't go to this event, you tell me, I will get someone else to go to that event, but no
Hmm.
one can replace you at home, and you need to
Yeah.
prioritize your home. Like he was very, that really helped me open up as well. And I was like, okay, so these are my some of my boundaries that I would have, and these are some of the things
Hmm.
that I keep telling my husband, I cannot just keep saying no, no, no for everything. I need to say
Yep.
yes for something. So
Yep.
obviously we have a return to office kind of a policy. So I
Hmm.
do go to office. I try to manage how much time I go to my office or how I do it. That's on me. But I do go to office so that my manager doesn't get like an email saying like, "Oh, why is
Hmm.
your whatever team person not in the office?" And for events, like I had to have a discussion. If it's a day event, if it's nearby, I'm definitely going, right? But if it needs me to travel for multiple days, like multiple nights, that's going to be very difficult because the
Yeah.
baby's still dependent on me. We still, like, he needs me, and it's unfair to my husband to take over 2 3 nights, like having a small kid 100%. He's also working
Yeah.
full time. It's not like he's at
True.
home. So I think we had that conversation and it helped actually, because
Hmm.
I feel like if I had not had that conversation, I know a lot of people in my team haven't had that conversation, and they keep talking to me like, how do you do this? And I'm like, you just talk to your manager, like,
Talk to your manager.
talk to your manager, because in the end they are humans. Like he also opened
Yeah.
up like how much his kid is struggling or whatever, and how he's able to find time. And he was like, I don't expect you to be on Slack the whole time. I don't expect you to respond to my emails quickly. But just as long as the work is moving, I don't need to micromanage you.
Yeah.
And I think that was one discussion that we had about capacity, like what kind of
Hmm.
capacity I'm working at. Because at Amazon you have this thing where you can come at a reduced capacity for some time, like you can discuss that with HR, or you come full
Hmm.
time. I decided to come full time because I was like, I don't want to play that, oh, I came work for 2 hours. And I was like, no, if I'm coming in, I'll jump in anyway in the
Yeah.
water. So I came back to normal, but then I also had I think I had a good discussion with my manager, because I feel if anyone is doing this, right, you come in, you talk to your manager, come with your list, come prepared. How I talked about it was like, tell me about the team dynamics, tell me what are your
Hmm.
priorities, how I can work on these priorities. um, you know Tell me what is important for you as a manager, right?
Hmm.
And then let's discuss where I come in, how I can help.
Hmm.
What are, okay, if there are four things that you as a team need to do, maybe I can do these two things, and these two I will try my best, but I will definitely
Yeah.
do these two things. So from my perspective, I do a lot of online content, blogging, so, and those numbers are great. So for him, if I don't do a lot of events, he's like, if you do once or two events, like whatever 6 months left in this year, he's like, yeah, I'm good. Like I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So I'm like, go with your list, prioritize, and like you said, right? Like you have to pivot. You have to pivot. Like, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Things are changing. It's fine. Like AI is important now, apparently. Which is okay. I'll see how it can help and how I can work with it.
Yeah. And then I think it's a very valid point. Not a lot of people have this conversation. Like they just shy away. Like I have a female manager. Like I have been, like, even before, like in my previous, like when I had my kids as well, I've been open, and then I've said like, hey, this is what my plan looks like. What do you think?
Yeah.
Can we like work together? Can, like, the thing is, like, if someone is going away on like maternity or paternity, of course they have to like handle some of the work, and at the same time when you're back, there are a lot of
Yeah.
catching up to do as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
as a manager, it really helps to kind of
Yeah.
help you prioritize, and also to sort of be patient as
Yeah.
well. Like, okay, this person is picking up still.
Yeah, I think
I
patience
think
is
that's
very
how.
important. Like I'm
Yeah.
glad I have met my fair share of bad managers, but I'm glad right now I have some good managers who are good human beings, and they're
Mm.
going through the same. I feel like the stage in our lives,
True.
and they are not like have kids who are 20 years old, and they're like back in our time. I'm like, yeah, but the times have changed, right? Like
Yeah.
the world has changed. Like I'll
Well, I
sorry
think.
to pivot, but my mom used to say that earlier in their times you would compare your child to a child two doors down the line, right? Like, oh, our neighbor's daughter is doing this, but now you're comparing your child to the world, right? Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, oh, has your baby reached all their milestones by like for 18 months? Like, and now you're looking at the whole like internet. Someone's kid is like yapping at 15 months, but your kid has not even said a word. Like, it's great weird level of FOMO. And then you have all
True.
these types of therapists. Like, do I do an early intervention? Do I do this? Do And then you're comparing food habits, right? Like, my touch wood, my son is a good eater. Okay, for his age, he's a good eater. But then I see these videos of kids who are like having these huge bowls, and they eat, and they're younger than him, and they're eating properly, and I'm like, yeah, he survived on two strawberries. It's a different intense world as a
True.
parent. And even for men, like you mentioned, right? Like for men, my dad's time, he wouldn't even know like what kind of clothes we were wearing, or what, like diapers never existed then, but he would not even know what is happening in our lives. It was
True.
done by our moms. And now dads are on the other side of the spectrum, right? Like they are, if you're not an involved father, like you definitely get it from the community as well. Like, what, you don't
True.
even know what size diaper your kid wears? It's a question, right? And fathers had to step up. They're no longer just
Yeah.
like, oh, the wife is handling the kids and I'm just going to do the work, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot different work for sure.
That's true. I think when it comes to men, our brains are not tuned to sort of taking care of babies. But what we try to do is like we try to improvise in a way that a man would know how to do things. Like it's like protection, like providing
Yeah,
kind of things. I still remember when I had my first kid, my wife asked me to make a milk, like because we started to like give milk, like both have a milk, right? And I have no idea like to how to make a milk for the first time. I had no idea. Changing diapers has been
yeah,
like a interesting time as well. I think like that's the sort of the change that we are seeing in
yes,
fathers also. And then
yes,
especially one thing that fathers lack at the moment is the someone to talk to. Like fathers don't
yeah,
talk about like, hey, what
yeah,
happened. We don't have that network. We try to
yeah,
solve our things because I think brains have like evolve in that way, try to like,
yeah,
oh, no help, yeah, just try to figure things out. But
yeah,
yeah, like father's role has changed
a
over
lot.
a period of time.
For
Yeah,
sure.
to how.
Because we have this immigrant community here, right? Like, lot of, like,
Hmm,
Canada has a lot of immigrants, especially in GTA where I live. So it's like my husband definitely is also on Reddit and he reads and all. But it's been easier for him to connect with other dads, because here we don't really have like, even paid help is like full salary, and it's like, yeah, it's not sustainable at all. The concept is not sustainable here at all. I used to love Singapore for that concept. But I remember my husband, he stepped up like crazy, because we had no
hmm,
one and I was the only
hmm,
one. He stepped up like crazy. This man changed almost every diaper of our baby until like the whole of his paternity. Like, I think he took 2 months paternity leave, and
hmm,
then an extra PTO that he had. So all 3 months I was telling my mom, like, I've maybe changed one or two diapers of our child. Like, he's taken over like changing diapers and all of that, because I was dealing with my own health issues, right? My mom was like, one day on video call, she's like, oh, is he changing the diaper? Why aren't you changing it? And I'm like,
the
isn't he a
dad.
father? Like, yeah, like, it's his child too. Like, no, but you have mother's instinct. And I was like, do you need mother's instinct to change a diaper? Like, the nurse taught him in the hospital. I was literally like lying there and trying to realize, like, oh, there's a world. And he learned from the nurses. Like, he was the first person who learned it, and he's doing it. Like, even with nails, right? Like cutting nails, and you know how sharp baby nails are.
Hmm.
And my husband was so offended, because his mom was like, oh, don't let him do it, don't let him do it, like, you should let the mom do it. And I'm like, it's just a filer, there's no cutting there, it's not gonna hurt anyone. Like even if you try, it's not gonna hurt anyone.
True.
And he can do it, like we have practiced, he can do it. Why is it like I am supposed to know everything the moment the baby's out? As a mother, I'm supposed to know everything, mother's instinct. But a father
True.
is like, they were not even letting him learn. That was the
True.
problem, right? Like he wanted to, but they were like, no, 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 you as a, like, he's like, no, I'm competent, like I can learn these things, and I can do these things. And I feel like I love that change in fathers, like they are saying that yes, we can do it, and it's our child. And like you said, right, like that first moment, yeah, it could be wrong, it's fine, like I've kept my, it's very low, I'm like, as long as it's getting done, I'm okay.
That,
But yeah, if they don't do mistakes, like if the first time you did a mistake, now second time you're never going to forget about
true.
it, you know what I mean? Like I can do this because I know this is the right way to do it. And I think that it's a great change in the society. And I agree with you, men need to have a play, like even women are not talking about it honestly. Like I was telling you, right, in mom in tech is, it's a very like you fear getting stereotyped, because
Hmm.
now it's like about being a mom and you're not, people, especially the culture I come from, it's like, no, 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 people will not hire you anymore, you will not get promoted anymore. It's a very scary concept to talk about. But I feel
Hmm.
like in the world of AI, we all are humans in the end, right? And we
True.
all, we all have personal life going on, we are not just working all the time. And if we don't talk about that, we don't talk about how our personal lives are impacting our work as well, then there's nothing, then AI should take our jobs, like then
Yeah.
seriously AI should take our jobs.
Thanks for sharing the conversation that you had with your manager and how it was
Yeah.
like to get support from your husband as well. But you are a developer advocate. You were mentioning that you had to go and like attend these events. Like sometimes you travel outside as well. You were at one of the summits recently. So how do you sort of like manage the time? Like how do you load balance?
I haven't been able to do multiple night kind of
Mm-hmm.
away from the baby. Maybe a night is a lot, but
Mm.
not multiple nights. Like I'll tell you, we
Yeah.
had this summit in Toronto, and I don't live
Mm.
in Toronto. I live a little suburbs outside of Toronto. We had a meetup, and we had like batch pickup, and then rehearsals for like whoever was community was speaking. So we had that the day before, and then there was a summit, right? I went for the first, like on Tuesday, I went. I did all of that. I came home like at 11 at night. By then, baby was already sleeping. I came in, I got freshened up, I hugged. Next day morning, 5 o'clock, I'm up again. And like 6 hours sleep, that's it. And I got up, got
Mm.
ready. I left home at 6:30, and the whole summit, like I was just there at the dev lounge, and I was talking to people and doing the whole
Mm.
thing. At around 3:34, I get a message from, like a call and message from daycare about picking up my son early,
Mm.
because he had diarrhea and they cannot keep him after that at daycare, so you need to
Yeah.
pick them up. And I started panicking. I was like, oh boy, because I had not seen him the day before. I don't know what happened. Like
True.
I asked my husband, what did you feed him? Like what happened? Why is he having a diarrhea? And he's like, no, okay. So then I told him, like, can you just go and pick him up, and I'll try to leave
Yeah.
from here. And then there was an after party that was happening with the community folks, and I was like, guys, I just cannot, because there are times I did my job, right? Like I was here for 2 days. I did my job. I felt like a party something doesn't need me. I did
Mm.
where I was needed, and now I need to be
Mm.
at home. Like I need to be a fully
Yeah.
present mom at home. And yeah, I was like, guys, I'm just leaving. And at 4:30, I just wrapped up. I took the first cab home, came home to a whole 3 days of stomach bug for him, for me, for my husband, and it was madness. I'm like, I was just juggling. Like I had not slept for days, my friend, because that same thing. Like he came home, he had like multiple diarrhea and vomiting, and then he passed it on to us. And
Mm.
we went for a week plus without sleep. And we, like I'll tell you, I don't take leaves for myself anymore. No sick days for me. If he's sick, I'm on sick leave. And if
True.
I'm sick, I'm still working. Like it's really that bad. For Montreal Community Day, I was like, it's going to be multiple days. let's just pack up and make a vacation out of it. So we just packed them up, put it in the car, we just drove, and we made a vacation out of it. But now,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I try to make a vacation out of it, but then my husband's also working full time, and
Hmm.
it's difficult to manage him not at home and being outside and in a hotel room where there's no childproofing, by the way. So it's intense. Like some days can get just crazy intense, and then it's okay.
When you start sending the kids to like daycare, you don't know when they'll get sick, because at least like the first few months they get sick quite
Oh,
often.
we've had almost runny nose every other week. Like even now, he has developed something called as croup, where he gets
Hmm.
cough in his chest, and we have to
Hmm.
give him pumps and
Cough.
whatnot. And yeah, puff, and like he's been sick for last 4 6 months, like since he started the
Hmm.
daycare. And
True.
it's not just him, like you can hear it in me. He passes on to me, and then it's my husband, and the cycle keeps going in the house. We have had stomach bugs and fevers, and touch wood, I hope it stays to that. I've heard horrible fevers here in North America.
I think like that's the thing, right? Like you have to do the job, and same
Yeah,
time you have to actually take care of the kids as well, because you need both
yeah,
to go on.
like exactly. And that's the thing, like I tell people I am an introvert, and people are like, no, you're not an introvert. Like you've seen me on the floor, right? I'll be like the happiest jumping person with a lot of energy there. And then but I used to be this person, like okay, I'm at the event, I'll be the happiest, energetic, most enthusiastic person there, and I'll come back to my hotel room and I'll crash, and I'll
Mm.
be like, okay, I need recharging. But now I cannot do that. Like I have to happy,
True.
enthusiastic, come back home and keep the same energy level, which is not easy. Like I don't get recharging time enough, right? But
Mm.
that's what you're saying, like you have to be on the whole time. Like
Time.
it's crazy.
And even with, especially with what's happening in the industry, what we are seeing like with AI came up, and then we also have like as you were saying, right? Like there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety among people. What's going to happen to my job? Is this skill what I have is enough,
Yeah,
or should I
yeah.
upskill myself? So like, I mean, like, how do you, like, as a new parent, how do you take all these, like, what, like, all these changing things in the world?
It you just take a day, one day at a time. I just tell my parent, like my husband's into AI as well, so he's a data scientist, and he has seen a lot of changes in his role. And we had a whole layoffs thing that was happening around sometime last year, and
Mhm.
I was on mat leave. He was the only one
Yeah.
working, and it was a lot stressful to think about not having a job and both of us being at home, and now with the baby and the house and the car, like you start thinking about expenses, and everything just starts getting so stressful. But then I
True.
told him, like one day I was like, you know what, this is why we have that emergency fund, this is why we have been saving for years. Whatever happens, like I don't want stress to like cause more health issues than it has already
True.
taken over, right? So that's where I think it helps that both of us are working, and we have been discussing about financial planning a lot, because finance is the first thing that hits when the industry is not safe. And the second thing is, we both use AI, right, at work.
Mm.
We also use a lot for our personal life. Like
Mm.
for work, I use Amazon Quick a lot. Like
Yeah.
I don't do any metrics anymore. Amazon Quick does
Yeah.
that for me. I don't do any expense claims and all. I just give it all the receipt, and I tell it, just like figure this out. Like this is too menial a job for me to focus on right now. So
Yeah.
sorry, you wanted to say
I
something?
mean, yeah, I mean, like, whomever built Amazon Quake, I really love the product.
I know.
I really love the product. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah, like I don't worry about like we create content, right? And the main part of our content is getting the metrics. And for years we have been like, who's going to do this? Like I'm not going to sit and collect metrics for the 30 items I created. But Quick does that for me, and it does that, and it updates it, and my manager is happy, everyone's happy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing reporting anymore, like that
Yeah.
has been taken care of. Even prioritizing my work, like from emails and Slacks and everything, I've like offloaded a lot of work productivity stuff there, which has helped, for
Mm.
sure. For personal thing, I think, I mean, I use Kiro a lot for work stuff as well. And then Claude and ChatGPT we use for
Hmm.
personal stuff. Like,
Yeah.
now we don't Google anymore. Anything like baby related question, it goes to Claude. Like,
Yeah.
this is a
Lot.
rash, or is it like, what is this? Like, everything goes to Claude. Claude knows everything about our child, except the photos. We don't say his face, but everything else. Grocery planning, meal planning, everything is now
Hmm.
like done, because those are the things that you need to do, right? Like food and cleaning and all of that. So we try to automate as much as possible. Like I said, we don't
Hmm.
have a village, so now you try to automate. And like, if I was in India, I would have had house help. I had a cook,
Yeah.
so I was never worried about these things. I would focus on work. But now you're it's a different culture, right? So here we use Claude for baby stuff, for meal planning, for grocery list, and even for our calendars. So like
Hmm.
daycare sends a calendar of activities this month or whatever they need for those activities. I just share that calendar with Claude and I tell it, like, this is what it is, and you just need to give me calendar invites. So me and my husband have a calendar, shared calendar.
Yeah.
Everything goes in there, we get alerts, we are prepared for it, like for birthdays and whatever. And we also use a lot of apps, honestly. Like, there
Hmm.
is a app for baby tracking stuff. So like I told you, right, like, it's me and my husband. I don't want him to keep asking me when was the diaper change, or what time did the baby wake up, or did we feed the baby. We both
Hmm.
have an app. Everything goes inside the app, so we never ask each other. We know that. And we don't even keep it in our brains. Like, the mental load was so much. I'm not going to remember anything. Like, I'm sleep deprived, dude. Like, I'm hearing things. I don't expect me to remember when the baby woke up. So now we put everything in the app. Even now at 21, we use it for some things like diaper changes
Hmm.
or sleep. So we know
Yeah.
how the sleep routine is. Like, we both are data people, so we get
Hmm.
trends and we can get the data out. We can give it to Claude, and you can, yeah, we do all that stupid stuff. So AI definitely is something that we've been using a
Hmm.
lot, for personal and for the work life. So now it doesn't feel that overwhelming. Like, initially few
True.
months ago I was very overwhelmed, but now that I'm using it in my daily life and I'm seeing, okay, I see some benefits, like of having an assistant. It's
Hmm.
not that overwhelming when I
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like some of these like tasks, right? Like for an example, we track a lot of like data points, even at work, like getting all these things manually through Quip. It was just crazy trying to figure out like, can we automate it and all that stuff. Now you don't have to worry. Just download, give it to Quick, and then Quick will get it done for us. I mean, like it's a game changer. To be
Yeah.
honest, like people say different things about like AI, different perspectives, but having that assistance like really makes a difference.
I used to tell my husband before I needed an assistant, but I don't want to tell the assistant what to do. Like, it needs to know, like, today when he needs this, and now I can do it. Like, I can tell Quick, like, every Monday morning you have to get this tracker updated. You have to tell me what is
Yeah.
happening, what not. You have to go and like, I just tell it. There are pros and cons. Like, yeah, not everything's amazing. There is going to be like errors, and there's going to be hallucination, and everything's happening, yes, but I can still work with it. It's better, for me to work around that. It's not going to be 100%. Like I tell my mother, it's not going to be
Hmm.
100%. It's going to be 60%, 80%, but that 80% helps me as well. It frees up my time to focus and prioritize on important things, right? So definitely. What else do you
Oh,
use? Like,
oh.
parenting stuff, do you use AI? I need tips.
So I am more of like I'm still like the manual guy who would have all the calendar invites being sent out. Like we also have a shared calendar. I think shared calendar is a game changer. Like both parents knowing what's going on. I'm the
Yeah.
guy who kind of like forget things, and my wife like make sure she sits down and then like puts down in everything on the calendar. And the interesting thing is, me and my wife, we both are very stationary lovers. Like we like our
Love.
date now
Yeah.
these days goes to stationery like shop, do all the shoppings, like at least the like after like
Yeah.
dropping the kid. That's what
Yeah.
we do. Those are our
I love
dates. That's how
that.
it
I
is.
love that. I like stationery as well, but I don't like to use it. I like to collect it. I'm like, this is so pretty. It's never gonna be
I
used.
know. I know.
Especially the
I know,
Japanese
right?
stuff. Like those, oh, I'm like, they're never
Yeah.
going to be used. My husband's like, why do you even buy it? I'm like, psh.
Yeah, don't ask questions. Yeah, so I have one traveler's notebook that I keep dearly on my desk as well. It was a long conversation, Rohini. Thank you so much for joining. But before I let you go, there are moms to be. There are
Yes,
moms already who are in tech, who
yes.
have been in the situation as you are, and then some who are, I think, going to face the same situation as you are as well. Like, what advice do you have for all the moms?
So the first thing a lot of moms are told is that, oh, you're having a baby, your career is finished. Like the break is going to break it, and everything. You're going to go back in your career. I feel like it's not about going back in career. We are evolving. We have another amazing attribute added to our personality is about being a mom and being a parent, right? And you're going to learn so many new skills, and you're going to learn how to prioritize your life. You've done the career part. You're taking some time out for that beautiful life that you've brought in this world. Focus on that as much as time as you get in your maternity. Focus on that, and then once you come back, you can always do better. Like I tell people, like, you've done so much amazing work in your career, right? You're just taking a pause, and now you're coming back and you can again do that amazing time. Have that confidence in yourself that whatever you did, you can again do it and you can again be successful. I feel like a lot of things that you're going to learn when you're raising a kid, you're going to learn a lot more skills, and those skills are also going to be important in your professional life. And learn to say no. I think the first thing you learn becoming a mom is setting boundaries and setting like priorities and boundaries. And you should definitely do that in your professional life as well. The day you start setting boundaries and prioritizing stuff, I think you're going to do good. Like you're going to be amazing because you're going to thrive not just being a mom but also being a professional in a tech world. And all kudos to you. And if you ever need anyone to just vent or talk about, I'm always here. Please send a LinkedIn request and I'll always be happy to hop on a call or just chat if that's your thing.
And also, if you're a dad or a dad to be listening to this episode, go and help your wife, because, like, forget about all the stigma in the society that you hear. I think the dads are pretty hands-on these days, and they should be, because with whatever that's happening in the world, like, it's a partnership that you are building, and then you brought the kid to the world together. So that support, and then that being present, you can't be a mother, and you will never have that same mom brain, but still, as a dad, I think how you used to know, like, how to hunt, to kind of protect the family, you can, like, sort of, like, position in a different way and then be helpful, because now you're not hunting, right? You don't have to go hunting,
Yeah.
like, men doesn't do hunting anymore.
Your child watching you thrive in your career and being a parent, that's a own gift on its own. Like we don't need to tell
True.
kids to study when we are study or do better in life when we are actually doing it, right? So I feel like you are a team. As parents, you are a team,
True.
and both supporting each other's careers, either each other's lives, is just going to benefit you, your child, your family as a whole. So definitely, I agree for sure.
Yeah. And also, I think both the parents are role models for the kids. Believe it or not, they are bringing in your sort of qualities. Like, if
Yeah.
you're seeing something good, it's coming from you, and if you're seeing something bad, it's also coming from you. So you should be role models, so they're gonna take that to the future. And also, that has been a challenge these days in newer families as well. Like, sometimes, like, I think when the fathers are not strong enough, the kids won't grow up strong enough as well. In when the mother's warmth, or maybe like that empathy, doesn't come into the kid, like the kid doesn't have it in the long
Yeah.
run as well. Be good partners, be a good team, and then definitely can go in this whole journey together. So anyways, thank you so much, Rohini, for joining to this episode. It was very wonderful talking to you, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Chef. I feel like you gave me an avenue to think about a lot of things and talk about a lot of things. And I appreciate giving me this opportunity to talk on your channel about being a mom in tech, and I hope we make all of the moms and dads in tech proud, and we hope that people talk about things like these, and
Yeah.
we have these human connections in this AI driven world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.